I suppose. Do they even bring this up? It's obviously going to be on the minds of every single senator there that John Bolton has this information that directly contradicts the case that they're presenting to the senators. What do they say about it?
What do you think?
Well, I think it's the elephant in the room, and someone has to talk about it. Depending what happens in this Republican luncheon, you know what the Republicans say to Mitch McConnell. What are they going to say to their leader when they feel that they should have been informed about this? And I was just looking back to what we were hearing on Saturday, and you heard Mr. Purpura, who is in the White House counsel's office, say that not a single witness testified that the president himself said that there was any connection between any investigations and security assistance, a presidential meeting, or anything else.
It's a lie.
Now you have John Bolton in his manuscript saying that, and you have the president, by the way, who came out today and said that's not true. So the question that I have is, well, if you're going to have Bolton testify, the president says he's lying. Do you now have to say to the president, okay, Mr. President, not that that'll ever happen, but Mr. President, well, we have a he said situation here. The president says, you're lying about this. You took copious notes, as John pointed out earlier. What happens next?
But can I just say something, Lori? With
Yes.
this, we talked about this earlier.
Yeah.
It's not just John Bolton who is contradicting the president's story. Mick Mulvaney went out in
Absolutely.
front of the cameras and
Absolutely.
said that the security aid was tied to at least one of the investigations in part. We also have Gordon Sondland. So, and then of course, all the other witnesses. So the question is not, it's not a he said in terms of the general argument.
He said,
It's
they
he
said.
said. I mean, there are a ton of
Well,
people.
but that's the worry of Republicans, because then it opens the door to all these other witnesses. Because if you have Bolton,
Right.
don't you then have to have Mulvaney?
Of course.
And you have a number of Republican senators, again, who will not say this publicly because they fear the wrath of the White House, or they love their Senate majority and they're worried that an angry president would put the Senate majority even more at risk in this election year, who do not like when lies are told on the floor of the United States Senate, or misrepresentations, if you want to choose a kinder word. The question is, can the leadership now keep this genie trapped in the bottle? There are two votes out, Collins and Romney. There are 3 or 4 other senators we know who, in their heart of hearts, are inclined to vote for witnesses. Leader McConnell has tried to keep them in the bottle. Can the passage of time today, can something the president's lawyers say, get them all to take a deep breath? Or, I mean, yes, this is messy. We've talked about this. This is messy. Yes, you would have preferred the House had John Bolton. The House fought this out in the court. All the senators have a perfectly legitimate argument to say, why is this happening here? Why didn't it happen there? That's great, but it is happening. And this is the president, and he's on trial for impeachment. And his national security advisor says there was a quid pro quo. And that didn't fall from the sky magically. That fell from the sky right after the president's lawyer said on the floor of the United States Senate, not a single witness, which, yes, you're right, was a lie about Mick Mulvaney. Here's John Bolton saying, hello, how can this, I mean, what, do they want to be the grand ostrich party and stick their head in the ground and hope they can run out the clock here? Because that's their choice.